What the hell am I talking about? What is Primal Combat Grappling? Primal Combat Grappling essentially is a rule set that tries to mimic or relate directly to the reality of combat. In real life combat, if you fall down on the ground, you're at a disadvantage. The ground is likely hard, maybe not all the time, but in urban settings, most of the time it's very hard and also abrasive. So yeah, try to use your guard on concrete with some gravel and rocks on top of it. Bro, your back is a cheese grater. We want a rule set that makes sure top position is preferred, because it should be preferred. And I know in jiu-jitsu they say that top position is still preferred. That's the way Hickson should have done it, or that's the way Hickson wanted it done. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not what's happening anymore. Now people just sit down on their butts and play footsies. Super whack. We want it to relate directly to combat. So we prioritize top position. So I've been doing this style within tournaments, done a few now, some gi, some no gi. The last one was a little bit of a disaster. Check the link. We're still working the bugs out of my interpretation of this rule set. Now, I did not create this rule set in order to just reflect my own strengths. I'm not saying I'm the best person at this rule set, or that the method in which I grapple is the only way to use this rule set. It is a rule set that creates a reality style of grappling. Okay, so number one, takedowns should mean points. If you take somebody and pick them up through the air and smash them down on the ground real hard, most cases the fight is over. That's why in judo, when you go from the feet to the back, right? Take somebody off their feet with force and bring them down to their back. That's the end of the fight. Now, I don't think that it should be the end of the fight, because we'll never get good at grappling on the ground, which is why a lot of judokas are not good at grappling on the ground, especially the guys. Girls are better. So the fight needs to continue, but it needs to be highly prioritized that we try to get these big, impactful throws, because that's just gonna end it right there. If I can just Harai Goshi and smash you on the ground, you're gonna be dead. If that's concrete, like, I'm sorry, but it's quite easy for me to finish that fight right there. So big throw, feet to back, 4 points. Little throw, something that would not hurt if you were on concrete, right? Or would not finish the fight if you were on concrete. We're gonna rate that less, right? So big impactful throw, 4 points. Smaller throw, 2 points. For a sweep is never gonna be a big impactful throw, right? If I'm on my back and I flip you over and I get on top, obviously that's better for me to be on top than be on the bottom. But I'm not gonna get 4 points because it's not a big throw. It's not gonna cause any damage. So I get 2 points. If I pull guard at any time, if I go from a standing position and I just go, I'm gonna go to the ground, or I just do this, I just sit down, hold on 1 minute. I'd rather be butt scooting. Get over here. Not a good idea, okay? That's 2 points, right? You're giving up a takedown. You took yourself down. So it only makes sense that you lose takedown points because of that. I'm not sure exactly what the time limit should be. I keep going back and forth between like an hour and a 15-minute match with then an unlimited sudden death overtime. I'm really not sure which one we should do. You guys can vote in the comments. Should Primal Grappling be a 1 hour match, or should it be a 15-minute match with then an unlimited overtime, so we never have to just go, this guy wins. That's sudden death. But what about guard passes? The guard matters. Yes, guard does matter. It is effective, but I don't think it should be as highly prioritized as it has been in recent years. So we give 1 point for a guard pass. If you pass the guard, that's 1 point. The guy puts you back in guard. You pass it again, still 1 point. It's not that big a deal. What is a big deal is who's on top and who's on bottom. But why does it matter so much who's on top? Well, if this is reflecting combat in any way, and you're down with your head real close to the ground, right? on the bottom, the top person is just gonna start smashing you in the face, right? If this is the reality of combat. Also, if you're down and you're on the bottom and your head is close to the ground, you can't really see what's going on. So somebody can come run up from the side and boot you in the head, or whatever else they felt like doing, because you're pretty defenseless down there dealing with the top guy. You gotta always, in a reality situation, realize that there could be other threats around. If there are other threats around, I do not want my head buried in the sand like some ostrich. Right? I want to have my head up and able to look around. If we relate this to real combat, which is war, right? I almost called this system, or called this style or sport, I almost called it war grappling. I believe it is a good name. It definitely makes you understand what the purpose is, right? In a war, there's absolutely threats everywhere, and you probably screwed up already if you have to grapple in a war because everybody's shooting, but it does happen. So if you're in that situation, you don't want to be like down in the mud on your back, right? You want to be on top where your eyes are around, you're able to use your weapons. If you look at traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu before the Brazilians took it and turned it into a guard system, newaza system, you would see that reflected in old school Japanese jiu-jitsu. So I believe that grappling needs to be taken back a few generations. Keep all the modern updates, keep all like the understanding of leg locks and the understanding of guard. All that is important because it needs to be used in certain situations, but it shouldn't be the A game, it should be the B game. In almost every case, it should be the B game. You should try to avoid being on the ground. So this is what I've been talking about. This is Primal Combat Grappling. Those of you that are interested in this, make your gi, right? Grab a gi, chop it, chop it, chop it. And then start practicing this. So minimum 15-minute rounds. Train with your friends, train with those that are around you that are also interested in this, and train under those rules. Again, 4 points, big takedown, like Ippon type takedown, big takedown, 4 points. Little takedown, like Wazadi takedown, 2 points. Guard pull, -2 points. Guard pass, 1 point. Sweep, 2 points. But what about mount? What about back? No, no. The point is to get top position. We're not gonna give more points for mount. We're not gonna give more points for back. That's where you get submissions. That's the reason you're there. Submit them. You're in mount, awesome. Submit them. It doesn't really matter that much what position you're in if strikes are involved and weapons are involved. Doesn't really matter that much, so we're not gonna prioritize it. Last thing. What can't you do? Are there any illegal submissions? No, every submission is legal. There's no fish hooking, headbutting, eye gouging, right? Wouldn't really classify them as submissions, although under somebody's definition they probably are. No ripping. You're allowed to use the lapel to choke, whatever, choke in any way. The only thing you're not allowed to choke the person out with is your belt. Because I just didn't want people to like immediately take their belts off and start fighting with their belt. I don't want to just have belt fights. I want to have like human fights. So yeah, no choking with the belt. Every submission is allowed. Neck crank allowed. Spine lock allowed. Reaping the leg allowed. Heel hook allowed. Everything legal. Slam legal. You can slam them however you want. You can even grab their head and bounce it off the ground. If you're in mount on somebody and you can grab their head and bounce it off the ground like a bear, do that. That's a good move. The only slam that is illegal is the head spike, which is compressing the spine. Think like Bob Sapp to Nogueira, straight down, tombstone style. That is the only illegal way to slam. So that's it. That's Primal Combat Grappling. It's very basic. There's not a lot of rules, which is why I like it. Less rules is better. It allows the truth to emerge. If you do some other grappling martial art, jiu-jitsu, gi, no gi, judo, whatever, and you want to try this, please do it. But do it in the right uniform so that you get really used to it, because we're going to start running tournaments and I would like you to be there. I've had a lot of people asking me about this for a while, so I hope you guys like this video. Once I get back to competition, I'm gonna start to unveil some of the methods behind which I use Primal Combat Grappling to my advantage under this rule set, or any rule set, because I believe that acting under the Primal Combat Grappling rule set will still defeat any martial art, even in their own rule set. Just my belief. Hope you like this video. Like, subscribe, notification, bell, ding. Peace.